So this video is going to be a bit crude. If you don't care about learning and just want to know the numbers, the coordinates for how to do this will be in the description. But I wanted to start with just some intro explanations first before I show how it's done. Just a quick little interruption because I made a mistake during the filming of this video. If you're doing 2x2 grid, the video zoom needs to be set to 50%, which is 0.5. And in a 4x4 grid, the video zoom needs to be set to 25%, which is 0.25. So this is your video area when editing in Davinci Resolve. And this center point represents coordinate 0, 0. And you have, oops, this is your y-axis. You have your x and y-axis. So your x is your horizontal axis. Negative x will move the point of your the center point of your video to the left, and then positive x will move it to the right. And then on the y-axis, positive y will move it up, negative y will move it down. And for starters, I'm going to start with a 1080p 2x2 grid video collage. So your vertical, your horizontal pixels will be 1920 by 1080. And you'll need to make your video 1/2 size for this, assuming you're working with 1080p content already, which will basically put it like that inside of your grid. And of course, this is your center point, which is 0, 0. And basically what you're aiming to do is shift it to one of these points, which is basically the center of your each rectangle inside of your grid. And the distance of this, let's do some other numbers here. I don't have very good spacing. I'll just do really tall. So one of the grids is going to be 960 by 480 pixels. And you basically are dividing that in half to find the center point, which ends up putting you at, this isn't 480, this is 540. I'm looking at the wrong numbers. I have a cheat sheet. This would be better if I knew how to animate. And basically you're aiming for the center point. So center point is 480 and then 270. So to make a 2x2 grid in a 1080p video, you are going to take your video, your 1080p footage that is, reduce it to half size in the editor, and then you're going to need to shift it 480 pixels up and over in the appropriate direction. So if you're going this way, it'd be brain fart, negative 480 and positive 270. And basically you just each direction you shift it, you go the appropriate direction. So this would be negative 480, negative 270, positive 480, positive 270, positive 480, negative 270. And all those coordinates will be in the description. The next one we're going to do, as I pull up my notes so I don't screw it up. There we go. Oh, not that one. There we go. So I do this a lot more when I'm playing with stuff. So 4K footage, which is 2160 vertical and 3840. 4K is basically 4 times the, or well, 4K is basically 4 1080p videos in a grid. So if your content that you're working with is already 1080p, you just leave it at the according size. And it looks something like that. Got your center point here, and then the center point of each of your videos. And we will just draw this out. So this will get you down to 1920 by 1080. And then your half dimensions, this is 540. And this is 960. And basically same deal, you just move up the according amount. So in this case, this would be negative 960 and positive 540. And basically same deal. What you're doing is you're shifting the video to it's essentially a fourth of what the video resolution is. That's the number of pixels that needs to go up and over, down and over. And I need another piece of paper apparently because I don't have another one. Alright, well this will be the last one, which is going to be the hardest to draw out. And this will be a 4K video. Whoops. And you're going to be doing a 4x4 grid. There we go. It's like I'm having a brain fart here for a second. What am I doing wrong? So, same deal. 3840 by 2160. This one, the math gets a little trickier because you got your center point, but then you have all these center points in these little boxes everywhere. And that's where you're moving the video to. Since this is a 4K video and if you're working with 1080p content, you are going to have to make the video half size. And there we go. And that'll put you something about like that, basically, in the middle. The numbers get a little trickier since you're working with more points. And I'm just thinking about where I want to pick on this. Alright, so 920, and then this is 960. And then this point here is 480. We'll do the vertical next. So 540 and 270. So basically this is kind of how the pixels end up lining up. And these four in the center are pretty straightforward. It's 1/8 of the video resolution to these points. So let's see here. Just looking at my notes. So it's from here to here. It's 480. And then from here to here, it's 270. Wouldn't make it as a teacher. And then it gets kind of trickier from once you get outside of these, because basically what you're doing then is you're adding up the distance. I don't have anywhere to write. From this point to this point here, which basically ends up being these 2 points numbers combined, which is 1440. So from there to there, and then I don't have anywhere to write. Let's extend this line from here, the center, to there. It ends up being, gotta check my notes, 810 pixels, 810, which is basically this 540 plus this 270. And then, yeah, basically it's just a matter of moving the center of the video to these various coordinates. And this explanation makes it sound really complicated, but when I was trying to find videos on how to do a video collage like this, their stuff was even more complicated, using different effects and fusion nodes and whatever. I don't know. I watched the explanations and it's like, this is just confusing to me. I don't want to do anything fancy. I just want to put videos in a grid. So that's kind of, I guess, the science behind it or whatever, the geometry, how things move, where things go. Um, Unfortunately, it's kind of hard if you want to do weird resolutions because I got another piece of paper. So, like, let's say you want to do a 3x3, and this is a 1080p video. Well, you're taking that 1080p and you're dividing it into 3 chunks, which probably should have thought of doing. I knew I was going to talk about it, but I didn't think I'd actually do the math. Let's see here. So 1080, hope I'm not making the camera shake too much. So this is 360, and then 1920 is 640. And I don't really think there's any video resolutions that are 640 by 360, because there's like, what is it? 720p is I think 1280 by 720. So if you're gonna do odd numbered or weird video collage layouts that aren't like divisible by 2, it's gonna be a little bit trickier. You would either have to do borders or figure out some creative way to make the videos fit. You could do cropping if you don't mind losing some of the content while still getting your grid. But really, these numbers are going to work the best if you're doing grids that are even numbers, 2x2, 4x4. I guess technically like 6x6, I don't think that would work because it has to be numbers that divide out accordingly by the resolutions. So I guess be numbers that would be divisible by 4, kind of. But either way, I'm going to get back on topic, and in the next part of the video, I'm going to demonstrate doing these layouts. Alright, so I'm going to start with doing a video collage that's 2x2 grid in a 1080p video using 1080p content. So first thing I want to do is drag your clips in your timeline, and you're basically going to pull 4 video tracks. Just kind of grabbing some random footage here. And you're going to want to take all these and you're going to go to zoom. You're going to make them 0.5. That way you can have the 4 videos in their own positions. And then just kind of whichever one you want to be in whatever position, go from there. In the case of these examples, video 1 is going to start at the top corner and just kind of go left to right, top to bottom. So we're going to take video 1 and you're going to go in your inspector, which you should probably already have that open, but if you don't, you just click on inspector on the top right corner and it brings up this box which has your transform. So for the first video, the positioning is going to be negative 480 for the X and positive 270 for the Y. You don't have to type in the plus, you just type in 270, but yeah. Then we're going to go to video 2, which is going to be positive 480 and positive 270. And we're going to go down to the next video, video 3, negative 480 and negative 270. Apparently that video is dark. There we go. Let's just go forward to a different spot where there's actually footage. And then video 4, that's going to be positive 480, negative 270. And just like that, you have your little video collage. That's a 2x2 grid. Whoops. Mute system audio. I'm just going to mute the audio. Here. No more audio. But yeah, now you get your 2x2 grid of your 1080p content. And it's really that easy. I'm going to get some people that inevitably complain, oh, it took you that long to get to this point. Well, I wanted to explain the math and the thought process of how it works. Just in case you want to do it different, you could easily do an 8x8 grid if you wanted to. Okay, now I'm going to show how to do a 2x2 grid using 4K video resolution while using 1080p content for your videos. So I'm just going to pull these down here. Same deal, pull your video out in your tracks. And then since these, I forgot that Davinci Resolve expands the video footage. So you're still going to have to put it down to half size, unfortunately. Oversight on my part. And then the thing that will change is the coordinates. So this one, video 1 will be negative 960 for the X and positive 540 for the Y. Video 2 will be positive 960 and positive 540. Video 3, negative 960 for the X, and negative 540 for the Y. I typed in negative 960, but it didn't. At least I thought there we go. And then video 4 is 960 for the X and negative 540 for the Y. And that video doesn't have any footage, or it's dark at the beginning, so we will just skip ahead. And as you can see, got the video collage still. All right, and this is the last one, which is going to be the hardest because it involves the most amount of videos that got to be moved. And this will be a 4x4 grid and a 4K resolution video with 1080p content. And it's going to take forever. There's probably a better way to do this, but oops. Just have to one by one drag these in to get all 16 tracks. Oops, I think I missed that one. It really doesn't matter if they're different, but it's easier to tell visually for demonstration purposes. I think I doubled up on one of them. But yeah, it's basically just a matter of dragging these all in one at a time. Come on. And something got missed, so I'm just going to pick one at random. And there we go. So we got all 16 of the videos. And we're just going to select these all. We're going to go to zoom, and it's going to have to be 0.25 so they all fit in their little grid. And then it's a game of playing musical everything. So negative 1440 and 810 for the first video. And then it's negative 480 and 810, positive 810 for the next one. And then positive 480 and positive 8. Have to hit tab twice. Positive 810 for the next video. And then positive 1440, positive 810. And as you can see, we're slowly filling out that grid. Next, we got video 5. Yep. So negative 1440, positive 270, negative 480, positive 270, positive 480, positive 270. First number is X, second number is Y. Positive 1440, positive 270, and then negative 1440, negative 270, negative 480, negative 270. Forgot to hit. I don't know why Davinci Resolve's like that. I guess it's one tab to select the change. Next tab is get you to the next text box. It always trips me up. All right, positive 480, negative 270, positive 1440, negative 270. As you can see, we got most of our grid filled out now. And negative 1440, negative 810, negative 480, negative 810, and then 480, negative 810, and then 1440, and negative 810. And yeah, there's the video grid. Really the hard part's just doing the numbers. Like there's probably a different way to do this, but me, I just kind of find the easiest, least technical way because I don't know how to use a lot of these fancy features. And then we will just mute the audio. Doing this grid, 4x4, is going to be taxing on your computer for doing editing because it's so much video content basically. There we go. We'll see if my computer has what it takes to play back. I think I'm running on a CPU. Pull up Task Manager here. Alright, my computer's struggling. I'm going to stop that. Hopefully it's not messing up OBS. Yeah, it's just maxed out. But really, if you're going to do this and you don't have the CPU capability, I would recommend already knowing your clips and having them at the right length and just straight encoding them. You can do this in your project and do like your whole video editing process. But personally, I like to break things down because if you mess something up on this, it's going to be hard to fix. So like if I want, I don't know how to do this with all of them at once, but if I wanted to just have like maybe this point to this point, I cut that all down, get it the way I want it, and then I go straight to deliver, and then I would render the 4K footage accordingly. But yeah, hopefully that all made sense. If I get enough complaints, maybe I'll make a more concise video, but I thought it'd be handy to explain like the math and the geometry, the positioning and all that, and then showing how to do it because maybe you want to do it a different way or do something different. Because I mean, really, especially like with this 4x4 grid, there's nothing saying that, let's get to the point where there's actually video and all the collages. Like if you wanted maybe one of the corner vids, let's see here. Let's take this one to half size. Maybe you want one of your videos to be filling up one corner instead of having four. Well, if you know how to do the math, let's see here. I gotta pull up the numbers. You can figure out the positioning. So in the case of this video here, if I want to cover up the whole bottom right corner, I need it to be positive 1920. Whoops, that's not the right spot. Positive 1920 and negative 1080, I believe. Oh, well, this is also being covered up by those because it's too far down the line. I picked the wrong example. Here, we're just going to go to a different one. The videos that are higher up on the list are ones that get priority. So I don't know which video this is, that one. So I'm going to cover up top left corner. So this would be negative 1920 by 1080, I believe, after I make it half. Nope, I did the math wrong. I'm being dumb. It's actually 960. It's quarter. 960 and positive 540. There we go. So now this video is covering up the top left corner, but I still have my overall 4x4 grid. So that's kind of where the explanation of the math comes in handy. Or, maybe you want this video to be in the middle, so you just leave it where it is. Oops, there we go. And then you can do, what is it, the Brady Bunch or whatever, I think, where they had the faces. It's before my time. Yeah, that's the Brady Bunch where they have the faces in the grid. Um, but yeah, so bad at staying on topic, but hopefully if you watched it this far, found it interesting and helpful. But yeah, thanks for watching.